Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The Republican-controlled House is expected to approve a measure today repealing President Obama's health care law. Republicans opened debate Tuesday despite Democratic vows to block advancement in the Senate. Republicans expect to follow the vote with another measure, instructing House committees to draft alternative proposals. On the House floor, Democratic Congressmember John Yarmuth of Kentucky denounced the Republican effort.
They can say whatever they want, but the truth is that the Republican plan is no care, no matter how desperate or how dire your diagnosis, no matter if the alternative saves money, saves jobs, and saves lives. I yield back.
No. Democratic Congressmember Dennis Kucinich of Ohio also criticized the repeal effort, but said Congress ultimately should establish a single-payer health care system.
Repeal means Americans will continue to pay more for insurance, but get less. That is, if they can afford health insurance in the first place. The very idea of health care reform, solely within the context of a for-profit system, has been more than problematic. Today, 50 million Americans have no health insurance. What are we going to do for them? Rather than waste time on debating how much reform insurance companies will permit, if any, it's time to change the debate. It's time to end the for-profit health care model. It's time for a not-for-profit health care, single-payer, universal Medicare for all.
Chinese President Hu Jintao has arrived in the United States for a 4-day stay. President Obama and Hu shared a private dinner last night, to be followed by a joint news conference today and a lavish state dinner at the White House. Also today, Obama and Hu will meet with a number of U.S. and Chinese business executives. Among the executives expected to attend are the CEOs of Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, General Electric, and Boeing. Ahead of the trip, White House spokesperson Robert Gibbs said Obama will raise U.S. allegations that China has manipulated the price of its currency.
We believe more must be done in terms of their currency. Obviously, with inflation, there are some impacts on the real value of the currency. They have taken some limited steps, despite the answers, to revalue their currency. And our belief, as you heard Secretary Geithner in here just Friday say, we believe that more must be done. That is an opinion that is held not just by this country, but by many countries around the world.
Prior to Hu's arrival, a group of protesters rallied in front of the White House to protest Chinese human rights abuses in Tibet.
The duty and the responsibility of the U.S. government under the leadership of President Obama to convince and urge Chinese President Hu Jintao to actively seek a solution to the Tibet issue.
The FBI has opened an investigation after a backpack containing a bomb was found along a Martin Luther King Day parade route in Spokane, Washington. The FBI says the bomb appears to be a case of domestic terrorism capable of inflicting multiple casualties. Investigators say the bomb was equipped with a remote-control detonator and shrapnel and positioned to direct its blast toward the marchers. The FCC has given final approval to a $30 billion takeover by the nation's largest cable television company, Comcast, of the television and movie giant NBC Universal. The merger gives Comcast control of the NBC network, the Spanish-language Telemundo, cable channels including MSNBC, dozens of local television stations, and the Universal Film Studio. The FCC vote was 4-1, with Commissioner Michael Copps casting the lone dissent vote. Media democracy advocates have widely criticized the merger. Josh Silver of the group Free Press spoke to Democracy Now! On Tuesday.
The Comcast-NBC merger is going to increase prices for consumers. It's going to make independent voices even more scarce on commercial television dials. And it's going to cut out independent programming even further from the cable dial. Yesterday's announcement of this merger flies in the face of President Obama's stated commitment to oppose media consolidation when he was on the campaign trail, and it bodes terribly for the future of the internet. We expect to see higher costs for access, higher costs for cable programming, higher costs for internet access, and at the end of the day, less choices for consumers and higher prices.
Internal U.S. government reviews have found WikiLeaks' disclosure of State Department cables has caused little damage to the U.S. government abroad. The review contradicts repeated public statements by the Obama administration that WikiLeaks has endangered U.S. policies and personnel. According to the Reuters news agency, 2 congressional officials say the administration felt compelled to misrepresent the leak's consequences out of a desire to shut down the whistleblower website and bring charges against its top members. In other WikiLeaks news, Switzerland has announced a probe into whether the U.S. illegally spied within its borders. Swiss officials say the U.S. asked for permission to conduct a spying operation in 2007, but were denied for lack of a legal basis. The probe will examine whether the operation proceeded anyway following WikiLeaks' release of diplomatic cables showing the U.S. carried out spying in Switzerland, as well as Iceland, Norway, and Denmark, without those governments' permissions. Former Haitian dictator Jean-Claude Duvalier has been charged following his return to Haiti from a 25-year exile. On Tuesday, Duvalier was briefly detained and charged with corruption, theft, and misappropriation of funds. Some estimates put the amount he embezzled at close to $1 billion. We'll have more on Baby Doc Duvalier after headlines. In Yemen, a high-profile journalist and expert on al-Qaeda has been sentenced to 5 years in prison on allegations of aiding the militant group and its leaders. Abdullah Shai has made a number of international media appearances for his work on al-Qaeda. He is known for his expertise on the group and making contacts with key members, but has denied having any links to its activities. Speaking from his prison cell, Shai denounced his sentencing.
I am not being held in the judicial system. I am held by the gangs of national security. This is not a legal verdict. This is a plot by those who have been condemned by WikiLeaks documents.
Palestinian Authority officials in Washington have hoisted the Palestinian flag outside their diplomatic mission for the first time. Chief Palestinian envoy Mayan Arakat said the symbolic move is a new step in the Palestinian struggle for statehood.
It's about time that this flag that symbolizes the struggle of the Palestinian people for self-determination and statehood to be raised in the United States. We hope that this will help in the efforts, international efforts, to provide recognition of a Palestinian state. And we hope that, as President Obama said at the United Nations General Assembly in September last year, that by the next General Assembly session this year in September, Palestine will be a full member of the United Nations.
Connecticut Senator Joseph Lieberman is expected to announce today he will retire rather than seek re-election when his term is up in 2012. Lieberman ran as an independent in 2006 after losing the Democratic primary. His announcement follows that of North Dakota Democratic Senator Kent Conrad, who also says he will step down rather than seek re-election. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.